All right, so today in this video, we're going to go ahead and look at the differences between elevation views, detail views, and then section views. So I have a sample project for one of the library projects that one of the students completed last year. And I want to get more details on the green roof. So I'm kind of curious, what components made up the green roof and how would I construct this? So if I have the Revit model, obviously I can look at the different components and I see that it's made up of let's see what it's made up of. The metal deck, the insulation, roofing, drainage layer, fabric filter, growing medium, and grass. Okay, great. So it's composed of these different components, which makes sense in a green roof. But how would I convey this information to someone that actually wants to construct the green roof? Some folks will say, well, why don't you just create a section and label everything that's part of it? So let's start that process. So I'm going to go to the ground floor. I'm going to take a section. And I'm just going to take a section of this portion right here. Let's see, that looks good. I'll click on my section. I'm not going to make it so far back, so I'm going to bring it. I'm just going to look at this small portion of the wall. Let's see. I'm going to keep it there. Great. So now let's look at this section. I'm kind of curious what this section looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my sections now and look at the latest one I created. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to call this, I'm going to rename it green roof wall section. Great. I put it in more realistic or fine level of detail, and I could see that I could see the green roof here. If I click on it, I could see the different components. And then some of you might be thinking like, okay, well, why don't you just start annotating the different components? Well, this is a section and this is a wall section. It's actually a slice of everything that makes up your building. But what if I just want to focus on this? I want the detail of this section. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to create a detail view by creating a call out, focusing on just that section. And you'll notice this symbol comes up, which is the detail section. And I'm going to go ahead and look what happens. Let's see. So in this, let me try that again. So I'm going to use a call out. I'm going to focus on just that section. There we go. You'll notice that a call out got created. And what a call out is, it's a detail section. It's a zoomed in view of just that section. I'm going to go back to fine and I see the details and I'm really zoomed into the green roof. The reason why this is valuable is because without this, it'd be too busy on my section view. There'd be too much annotation and too much going on. This allows me to zoom in on one portion and give really good details about just this specific section. I could also go ahead and hide unnecessary elements. So things like this, like the grid line or the floor levels, I'm going to hide all those. I'm just going to focus on this. I could go ahead and drop this into a drawing sheet. So I'm going to go to my drawing sheet, which is my sections and details drawing sheet. Drop in this call out. I'll note that it's too small, so that means I should make it bigger here. So I'm going to change the scale to, let's go 1/2 inch is 1 foot. Let's see if that was a good size for it. Yeah, that's better. I could definitely see more details there. And now on this zoomed in view, I can go ahead and start annotating objects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to that call out. I'm going to go ahead and bring these lines in so this box isn't too big. And then I'm going to go ahead and start adding text to go ahead and detail each component of this. So just like wall sections, we're going to go ahead and label each layer. What was each layer composed of? It was a metal deck on the bottom. Above that, oh, I see. So the reason why that didn't show is because this is the wording's outside of my layer. So what would you do in this situation? How do I get this wording there so I can still see it, but it's not super busy? So one of the things you can do is in detail components, you have different detail views that you can put in. So if I go to, let's see where it is, detail items, go to general, and I see a break line. I can go ahead and insert a break line into my drawing. So what does that break line do? It actually creates a void space where you don't see any of the wall behind it. So maybe it makes sense to move this break line to the opposite side. And then move my text to that space. So now I can continue to do this with each of the components. I can continue to annotate. And then when I go to my blueprint plan for the details and sections, I'll see the different components on there. Obviously, I'd clean this up. I'd add more details, but this is kind of the feature of it. If I don't want to see that line around it, or the box that's drawn around the detail, I'd go back to my callout and then simply just hide the crop region. Okay. Again, I can continue to add text to this and call each layer out. Okay. So as I continue to do this, it's not going to be as busy. You're not going to see as much. It's not going to be as busy as often what we see with wall sections. And none of the things that I hid in the callout are hidden in the section, which is why we do these detail plans. Okay. All right, great. Thanks, guys.